Alright, Chapter 8, Periodic Maintenance, Associated Infrastructural Facility, General Procedural. Periodic maintenance include the overhauling, timely repair of the residential required with the considerable, reliable, efficient working of the track machines. Should be a proper schedule of maintenance. Necessary infrastructure should be created with the carrying out of the maintenance for the track machines. Maintenance schedule for the track machines. Periodical maintenance of the repair of the machine should be carried with the schedule 1 through 6. Schedule 5 and 7 pertains to intermediate overhaul, periodic overhaul, in the perspective of the care with zone management and CPOH workshop specify with the prescribed frequency. Maintenance schedule for the various track machines, periodically duration, various machine. Maintenance schedule for all the machines are tabulated in Annex 381 guidelines. Machine schedule for the track machines other than the rail grinding machine. Here's to the schedule should be ensured for the duly informed division in advance. Similar and practice should be filed with the schedule for the carried out with the satellite depot for the word division not left for the midway of the critical structure. The intermediate overhaul, periodic overhaul shall be incorporated with exhibited in implement planning so the division are aware in advance that can be aligned with the work accordingly. The various design standard organization shall issue instruction maintenance to be done. Different schedules including the periodic overhaul with the different machines items to be checked with the intent with the various schedules shall be as with the research design standard instruction and case with any of the doubt it referred to the research design standard clarification until then maintenance can be done with the manufacturer instruction provided. And then their manuals reference to the manufacturer may also be kept on the research design standard informed of minor changes of the instruction made until they approve the chief engineer of the track machine of the concerned zonal railway. Before undertaking the periodic overhaul, intermediate overhaul, major components of the assembly spares required should be prepared, kept in readiness. The third periodic overhaul should be carried out with the machines expected to work with a residual life around 3,000, 4,000 ERH or after the third periodic overhaul. The railway should be prepared with a 2-year plan with a periodic intermediate overhaul. Track machines in time 1 year with a tentative for the next year, so the procurement and straight for the long lead item can be done in the time guidelines maintenance schedule for the rail grinding machine. Maintenance of the rail grinding machine should be done separately with the team of the tab for the region for the rail grinding machine. The team will be in addition with the operating team. Day-to-day maintenance of the schedule 1 rail grinding maintenance should be done with a separate maintenance of the group before the after traffic block involved with the level of workload and time. The operation staff of the machine shall duly temporarily pre-block check with the duration of such of the check should be no more than 1 hour. Schedule will at 2 to 4 should be carried out with the maintenance staff along with the regular operating staff. During intermediate and periodic overhaul of the rail grinding machine, the schedule 6 and 7 operating staff as well. The maintenance staff should be actively involved with carrying out the jobs along with the intermediate overhaul, periodic overhaul staff. And items to be checked with the attendant with the various schedule that should be normally with the research design standard uninstructed in case of any of the doubt. They refer to the research design standard of the clarification until the maintenance can be done with the per manufacturer instruction on the subject considerable suitable with the approval of the chief engineer of the track machine of the holding railway. Inspect with the wheel axle on track machine. Track machine wheels are solid wheels with the wheel profile with the spur of the research design standard allowing number sketch 91146 visual inspection, physical inspection, ultrasonic inspection, wheels axle for the on-track machines as required at the time during the initial procurement. Ultrasonic testing with the new wheels may be done in accordance with the research design operating report number IRS 34-2003. Wheels and axles shall be subject to physical inspection, examination. Ultrasonic testing the axles should be done during the service of the prescribed frequent laydown of the research design standard organization. Visual and physical examination. Physical inspection wheels with the track machine should be done during the service as procedure. Physical inspection wheels and axles for the on-track machines issued with the track machine monitoring. Directed Research Design Standard Report Number TM170, July 2012. Inspection should be done on the inspection pit line frequency once a year after every 1,000 engine running hours, whichever is earlier. However, the periodic visual inspection for any apparent wheel defect should be carried out with the 50-hour schedule, which is done at the track machine, siding and stabling line. Ultrasonic testing of the wheel and axle on the track machines. Ultrasonic fall detection testing of the axle and the wheel on the track machine should be done as per code of the procedure. Ultrasonic testing axle of the wheels, large track with the machines using different track of the machine's research design standard organization. Wheels should be tested ultrasonically at the time of the initial procurement only. Frequency ultrasonic examination of axles on the track machine should be between 40 to 45,000 kilometers over the running over the 3 years, whichever is earlier. Testing should be done with supervisor possessing regular and refresher course certifying the research design standard organization criteria. Supervisors subjected trained with the USFD with the testing of the axle should be one of the following: graduate of the science of the physics of the university institution recognized by central state government UGC or International Institute Universal 3 regular diploma of mechanical, civil, and electric, metallurgic, chemical engineering for the University of the Institute, recognized with the Central State Government Technical Education Board, International Institute, University, MC Science and Chemistry, provided with physics with one of the subjects in the ISE Intermediate 10 to 22 plus levels. RE, B-Tech, mechanical, civil, electrical, chemical, metallurgic, IT, computer science of the University Institution, recognized Central State Government, Technical Education, International, University, validity, initial course certificate shall be 3 years, refresher course certificate should be with 5 years, research design, standard organization, regular conduct, training, supervisor, ultrasonic examination with axle and wheel. Railway shall nominate their eligible staff with the required training. Type of the workshop for carrying out the repair as well, periodical maintenance of the track machine. 5 types of the repair maintenance facilities workshop that shall be developed as below. Central periodic overhauling workshop, the intermediate overhauling workshop, the zone machine depot, satellite depot, mobile workshop, transport van, cam coach workshop, central periodic overhaul workshop, the central periodic overhauling workshop are developed depending on the holding of the machine of the Indian Railway geographic consideration. Function central periodic overhaul workshop, function central periodic overhaul workshop are as under the periodic overhaul of machines overhauling or tamping unit, the transmission, gearbox, axle, some of the lifting line, assembly units exchange either for the shop floor or on the field. Post-periodic operational service of the zone railway performance monitoring of the overhauled items. Development of expertise, standardization, documentation, dissemination, knowledge of the respective overhauling assemblies, study of the development and interchangeability of the components of the assemblies, study and failures, finding out of the remedial pressure of the measures, troubleshooting, modification, refinement, and maintenance practices, procurement and store of the equipment required with the periodic overhaul, gadgets required with the testing of the overhauled machine, sub-assembly component with the inspection testing machines assembled and received prior to the after post overhaul period of overhaul, study with the new imported machine, the preparation inventory, live the complete series of the machine-wise checking for the change of the reference to the old series of the machine, develop the engine substitute with the relatively reliable competitive source of supply, the development drawings of the material specification of the manufacturer spares, providing shop floor training regarding maintenance of the machines to the zonal railways of the demand, acting as knowledge centuries of the track machines, periodic overhaul, planning for the track of the machines to be attended, periodic programs for zonal railways. Zone rail shall be some of the list of the machines due to the periodic overhauls requirement of overhaul damping units after 2-year period of much of the December every year, respect with the central periodic overhauls workshop and format given the annexure D2 finalization of periodic overhaul program, central periodic overhaul workshop. Central periodic overhaul shall be periodic overhaul program for 2 years from the first year of the tenant of the second year forward it to the Railway Board first Thursday, 31st January every year for the approval of the Railway Board shall issue the approval of the periodic overhaul program of the track machine distributing and tamping units for a 2-year period. Periodic overhaul shall start the indenting process to procure the spare of the considerable requirements of the 2 years based on the program submitted with the Railway Board. Zonal Railway should be sent with the detail of the report with the deputy with the chief of the engineer of the track machine. Central periodic overhaul at least 2 months and answer for the arrival of the machine central for the central periodic overhaul workshop to take preparation and action and arrangement for additional spares, if any, in the annual target of the track machine deployment of the program shall be fixed for the consider of the periodic intermediate overhaul transit duration. Alright, periodic overhaul execution. Staff of the machine shall accompany with the machine during the periodic overhaul activity themselves overhauling the machines on arrival of the machine. The senior executive engineer and track machine central periodic overhaul and in charge of the conduct of the joint survey machine assessment of the repairs reconditioning works required. Zonal Railway shall accept the provisional debts for the adjustment and memo of the total of the expenditure for the periodic overhaul rate to the deputy of the chief engineer technical periodic overhaul. Arrival the machine's final debit should be raised after the actual completion of the work verified with the system senior service engineer track maintenance track machine in charge of the machine. Alright, D, model activity flowchart of the periodic overhaul of the track machine to depict for the annexure for the 8.3 for the central periodic overhaul of the items are played with the prepared review during the periodic overhaul of the working will control the railway if required the unit exchange with the periodic overhaul, the minimum with the periodic overhaul duration for the periodic overhaul. Supplying on base for the unit exchange with the various sub-assemblies like tamping if they engage the other important assemblies and sub-assemblies. After the process control, the periodic overhaul process should be controlled by the preparing machine register of the methods of the sheet with the statements of the working and instructional specification activity chart. part. Typical lift of the structural facility should be listed in like shed structure plant with a machinery measuring working tool that include the other miscellaneous equipment required for the central periodic overhaul workshop shall be as per paragraph 809. Central periodic overhaul workshop shall adhere to the prescribed time schedule for the completing of the periodic overhaul delay, if any, beyond the stipulated period, but may be promptly advised of the concerned owning railway to well advance, given the detailed reason. Dispatch the machine after the periodic overhaul. After turning on the machine from the shed, all functional parameters should be calibrated as rated with the tolerance specified for the machine and drawing catalogs, null settings with all sensing units transduced to the pendulum of the printed circuit board shall be carried out with a zero defect tracker. Display unit input values shall be validated with the calibrated masters listed with the Annex D85. Format master calibration is given in Annex D86. If the desired test unit after the owning of the railway may present with during the tests and trials, the senior service engineer track machine in charge shall take over the overhauled machine only after all the tests and trials have been carried out with the test run certificate is signed. Test run certificate jointly signed and official with the zonal railway, the central periodic overhaul along with the summary repair sheet with the detail of the periodic overhaul execution as per Annex of the 87 before dispatch of the machine. Desirable to have a third-party audit with the inspection organized central periodic overhaul workshop involving all the equipment management and necessary rectifications, measuring and taking the board dispatch of the machine. Central periodic overhaul shall furnish a list of spares replaced during the periodic overhaul. Release components shall be handled over the machine staff unless all agreed otherwise approved of the department of the deputy of the senior chief engineer track machine line of the zonal and railway. Zonal railway. The central periodic overhaul workshop shall stand in warranty satisfactory working with the machine tamping unit, the other assemblies, some of the assemblies for the period of 6 months after commissioning of the machine. Zonal railway shall report such issue beyond the technical expertise. Zonal railway attention to the system of the central periodic overhaul. Feedback of the machine tamping unit performance of the periodic overhaul shall be sent this year. Central periodic after 3 months as soon as when required format is given in Annex D8D. Alright, Central Periodic Workshop separately advised with the machine holding railway about the components for the trial modification carried out during the periodic overhaul. If any of its own railway shall keep the special watch on these items and submitted feedback to the Central Periodic Workshop about their performance. 805, the intermediate overall workshop zonal maintenance deposit. There shall be at least one zonal machine depot with which each zonal railway the intermediate overall of all the machines carried out with as per the schedule 6 of the mention of the Persian Part 802 unless otherwise stipulated with the Office of Equipment Management. In addition for the periodic overhaul of the machines which are specified in paragraph 802 shall also be undertaken within zonal maintenance depot. Function zone maintenance depot workshops are under the intermediate order of the overhaul of all the machines. Periodic overhaul of the machines specified the time. The zone maintenance depot need basis overhauling unit replacement engines, damping units, gears, assembly, axle, some of the fitting line, assembly, extra shop floor and field attention in case of the breakdown, creating a service group with the different functions, the hydraulic, pneumatic, electronic, electrical, etc. for the zone depot, the level, the satellite depot, level. So the machine satellite depot staff with the execution of the heavy repairs and schedule maintenance study for the failure of finding out the remedial measures, the troubleshooting, the developed maintenance practices, procurement and store of the equipment required for the operation maintenance for all the machines, including the intermediate overhaul, periodic overhaul, annual calibration of the machine gauge, preparation inventory list, new series of the model of the machine, complete series of the machine wire, the checking of the chain with the reference to the old series of the machine, develop indigenous substitute with a reliable, competitive source supply, facility of zone maintenance depot. Facility zone maintenance depot shall include the source of the space for the consumable, the face of the housing of the track machine, carrying out the repairs of some of the replacement of the units, components, along with the office of the senior service engineer, track machine, officer for the typical list of the infrastructure of the facility, like the shed, structure, plant, machinery, machinery work, tools, including other miscellaneous equipment that require for the zone maintenance depot shown in this paragraph 809. Program of the intermediate and periodic overhaul. Program of the intermediate overhaul machine. Periodic overhaul. Select machine shall prepare with the zonal railway linear line similar with the periodic overhaul from first year of the 10th of the second year by end of the January. Sent railway information for the taken into the account with the finalizing of the target of the railway procurement action for the requirement of the 2 years shall be taken. Planning of the intermediate overhaul. Proper advance of the preparation should be done after survey with the machine to overhaul the items like the engine of the top of the over the renewal of the pump, the motor, the valve, the changing with the tamping unit, the tying of the triangle with the adjunct of the measuring system, the tension for the tamping unit, the brake, etc. shall be planned during the intermediate overhaul. In addition, the tension shall also be given in the other item of the condition based on the repeated failures reflected in the blog book. Normally, only the intermediate overhaul should be done between the two periodic overhauls. If the intermediate overhaul, periodic overhaul, lesser intervals are considered necessary, approval with the chief engineer and take track machine should be obtained with the normal such an instance will arise only with the major structural damage of the track, the major overhaul of the power of the pack, the major modification necessary for the heavy repair with the machine overhauling of the assembly can be clubbed into the periodic and intermediate overhaul. 806 Satellite Depot with an additional intermediate overhaul workshop. Some railways step up to at least one satellite depot with each division to meet the repair and maintenance of the need of the fleet machines. The function of the satellite depot with the track machine shall be brought with the facility of the depot for the repair which cannot be performed in the field with the also maintenance schedule for the machine specified with the paragraph 802 with addition shall also be needed for the base attention for the tamping unit with the gears assembly with the axle assembly, lifting and lining assembly for the unit exchange with the assembly with the sub-assembly for the not feasible in the field facility satellite depot. The facility satellite depot should include the storage spare of the consumable facility housing with the travel of the machine carrying over the repairs assembly replacement of the unit components along with the office of the senior service engineer with the track machine officer of the typical list of the infrastructural facility like shred, structure, plant, machinery, measuring work. Tools included after the other miscellaneous equipment that require the satellite depot should also prepare paragraph 809. Alright, 807, the mobile workshop come transportation van with each of the railway shall have the mobile workshop or road vehicle the necessary workshop facility with each of the zonal depot shall with each of the satellite depot adequate capacity repair track machines which are deployed with all over the zone function of the mobile workshop with the mobile workshop to attend each of the track machine periodically as required with the cover over the schedule 2 through 5 of the periodic repairs carry spare will carry spare of the consumables to be replenished. Facility mobile workshop with sufficient inventory of spare of the tools will be maintained in the van. Mobile workshops should provide with a well-trained staff with a good handle the repair of the various system. Mobile workshops will help prepare cover the van with a trailer unit mounted on the trolley which can be pulled up to the side of the track at any other road vehicle. The zonal railway should either procure the truck and get these units fabricated with the hire of the traffic units for the inviting tender of the typical failure that provided in the mobile workshop are given the annexure 8-9 camping workshop. Camping coach will shall provide each of the machine accommodating machine staff that shall be codified coach modified with provided facility boarding and loading of the machine staff that shall have the necessary cooking facilities and toilets and bathrooms function. The camping coach workshop the coach shall contain the provision small workshop of emergency repair store material at the sites also shall be made for the refurnished of the per drawing of the research design standard organization catered with the schedule 1 2 with occasionally schedule 3 emergency breakdown. Facility and camping coaching workshop will spare with the equipment for the minor repair of the daily usage of the shall be kept for the coach camp camping coach for the typical list for the equipment to be kept for the camping coach of the workshop given in Annex to 810. Alright, 810 infrastructure facility operation maintenance of the track machine. The following facilities are necessary for the day-to-day working with the maintenance of the machine. The infrastructure facility with the central periodic overhaul zonal maintenance for the depot, satellite depot, the various instructional facility like the shed, the structure of the tracks, include the pit lines, machinery test bench, workbench, but inspection, measuring the tools, working tool, the other miscellaneous equipment required for the central periodic central zone maintenance depot, satellite depot are given the Annex 8-4 storage carrier facilities for the fuel and oil, special road mobile units for the carry to distributed fuel, lubricants, hydraulic oils with a pump arrangement shall be provided. Mobile van carrying fuel with having full statutory safety standard for business regard more than one of the unit made necessary each for the satellite depot, bringing up a number of the machine unit with the catered with the storage facilities may also be provided at the selected locations over the HSD will recover the day-to-day operation involve the oil companies on lines for the RCDs can also be a concern. Transportation spare parts and assemblies are required transported by the road one or more road vehicles with the crane facility with the loading and unloading should be arranged at its zonal maintenance depot with the satellite depot depending on one of the requirement hiring will depend on the department vehicles are not available. Communication facility junior engineer senior engineer shall be provided with the voice of the data connectivity with the CUG mobile to SIM walkie-talkie VHF. The communications should be available between the site of the work of the adjoining station with the machine in charge shall have the two walkie-talkies set with the frequency by operating staff local pilot guard station master with the communication from the midsection of the engineering controls available to such facility can also be even necessary ahead of the mounted communication system covering one each area shall also be made available to communication during the the actual work of the machines, like the ballast cleaning machine, the shoulder ballast cleaning machine, the T28, the TRT, the TLE, should be the officer of the track machine within the organization shall provide the adequate communication facility through the STD with the fax with the ZMD with the SD with each of the machines shall be equipped with a mini laptop data card facility for uploading the detail of the track maintenance TMS. Prepare stabilizing facility machine. In addition with the signing with the senior service engineer with the headquarters preparing sliding adequate length of the stabilizing of the track machine. Camping the coach should be available to stations about 10 to 30 kilometers apart with the suitable distributed up and down lines depending on the number of the lines available to the path of the traffic. The siding shall be provided with the facility electrical line, welding, charging, and such water supply space with the storage of critical spares. Soon will enable the minor repairs carried out with the workshop with the Camden coach. The bilateral or portable latch range shall also provide with a resting site with a typical sketch of the stabilizing site of the facility shown figure 8.1. Resting cooking facilities of the staff of resting houses shall be provided with attached for each of the senior sectional engineer permanent over the way off to the track machine staff of one camp coach workshop the rest van shall be provided with each of the track machine. As far as possible, the track TM maintenance sidings and the rest of the room shall be in the same location. Camping coach capable of being attached to the machine. Also train information. The list of the equipment and facility of the coach in accordance with the standard of the issue of the research design standard of the arrangement for the house company cooking with the Campton coaching. The rest of the rooms are made for the departmental by outsourcing. Typical layout with the track machine rest houses and an annex 812. The camping coaches 810. Camping coach facility. Camping coach shall provide with the air brake system with the coupling will provide also the normal the IRS standard for the screws coupling. Modification work with the camping coach shall be performed. The coaching per drawing associated with the annex 813, 814, 815. The amenities shall provide with the annex 816. Railways may decide to have a different drawing amenities than per local requirements approved with the PCE with the railway may convert the selectable cabinet into the air conditioned cabinet with the requirement in respect with the electrical circuit that may be modified accordingly. Painting scheme of the cabinet coach is given in the annex 87. Living areas proposed playouts with the prescribed X. Additional roofing of the false ceilings shall be provided with the following preferably same curvature existing roof ceiling with a minimum height of 24,000 millimeters. Center front floor of level of this will produce the heat of the coach. Red beds should be preferably produced at a level lower than berths for the one first AC coach. Side beds for the shall be 1850 by 850 millimeters should be box type of the cushion with as one first AC coach. Bed shall be box type and can be opened upward direction to accommodate line items, etc. Upper existing berths shall be removed. The oven plate for the upper existing berth. The wooden cabinets shall be provided with the same size of the 1850 by 300 by 300 approximately above all the beds, berths below the vault ceiling. Alternate bunk beds may be provided. Flooring in the area shall be the same standard as in the first class AC. Sofa, the tables and chairs shall be provided shown in the drawing. Kitchen granite marble top shall provide with a cooking platform 500 millimeters wide. One existing water tank of the coach shall be used with the water arrangement. One exhaust fan shall provide with a suitable location. Chimney may be also provided in this kitchen. Bath area and toilet. One of the existing water tanks on the coach shall be used with the bathroom water arrangement compatible with the bath fittings and available. The first AC first class coach shall be provided with a bathing area. Toilet shall be big boil type being used with the Indian Railways should be regarded with the biotypes, which should be the Indian Railways regarding schedule for the technical requirement of number C9908 revised issue. The research design standard may be filed as guidelines. One exhaust fan shall be should provide with the toilet, bathroom, and the kitchen area. The electrification plan, the electrical arrangement shall be incorporated the 818. Battery blocks provided with the coach shall be utilized as if expected with the self-generating equipment and alternator plate for the 238 volt AC with the 110 volt DC battery charge will provide for the purpose of the charging of the coach battery with the coach. Electronification shall be following source of the supply. Electricity made obtained with the outside supply available at the railway station presiding to the 3-phase 10 kilovolt amp silent D direct generator set with house camp coach for the following requirement of the electricity case for the failure batteries. There should be the provision 9 roof sucking and CFL illuminated AC supply solar panels on the roof with the inverter must provide to promote use of the renewable energy. Electrical application fitting to provide with the camp coach with the being listed the fluorescent lights room section 20 and shit. Store management room that shall be provided with keeping a small spare with the machine shown on the camp coach layout. Stores shall be provided with the cabinet rigs with a suitable height with the locking arrangement. Addition store given to the coach layout with additional underslung box to shove the grave with a heavy spray with the machine with the box to shove the being used of the keeping the empty drawer, drum thighs, hydraulic hoses, heavy spares of the machine design of the locks to shove the corner with the requirement of the particular machine with the safety factor of the weld within work of the box to shove it sufficiently high so that there should be no failure to the account of the welding work. So his maintenance schedule, track maintenance schedule 1 through 4, schedule 6 through 7, the intermediate and periodic overhaul. Format of the periodic overhaul planning. Periodic overhaul flow chart. Requirements facility, various depots. Shit. I don't really feel like reading this anymore. Machine-wise, list of masters required calibrated set parameters. Hydraulic system. Pneumatic system. Format master calibration. Annex 8 format repair summary sheet periodic overhaul. And these are all in the Indian Railway, so I really don't give a shit anymore. Format 90 days feedback periodic overhaul. It is somewhat impelling, but it doesn't typical facility provided in mobile workshop. List of equipment that kept in the camp coach workshop. Typical layout of track machine sliding. Show the pathway along the length of the siding. General layout restroom of the track machine staff. Layout camp coach based on the research design standard number ESC 1592. Layout camp coach based on the research drawing number CS 1640. 6CS 1686. Amenities provided in camping coaches. Paint scheme, camping coach for track machine staff, and that's Indian. Electrical circuit diagram, camping coach. Chapter 9, manpower.